welcome everybody. I'm glad to have with me today Sarah Colby, and we want to talk about, you are a city council woman. We're not going to talk about politics today. We're going to talk about something really good. And y'all had a recent trip to Japan. How was that?
It was incredible. Once in a lifetime experience for sure.
Was this your first time?
Absolutely. First time to Japan, first time to Asia, yes.
Would be your last time?
No. No, it won't.
Well, you and your husband, and I think a few more people, took a group of youth from Dublin, Lawrence County. And how do you pick those youth?
Well, it's an application process. We travel once every 3 years. So those applications go out to each of the local schools. We want to have a diverse representation of students from across our school systems. And we're looking for people who are outwardly gregarious. They're friendly. They enjoy traveling, but more than that, they enjoy meeting people. They are representation of our community. They are ambassadors of our community. So it's very important that they understand the weight of that, the responsibility of that. But mostly we want them just to be able to be well communicated so that they can share their experiences not only with the people in Osaki, but when they come back, be able to share those experiences with Lawrence County.
Well, I was reading the names of the kids that you did take, and it was pretty well the cream of the crop. It was a great, diverse group of young people. So now we go every 3 years, and then they come here when?
Every 3 years. So we have a 3-year cycle. And from those 40 or 50 applications I was telling you about, we have about 20 that interview with a panel of community leaders, and those community leaders actually choose the 9 students. So yes, it's a long process, about a year in advance we prepare for that. So we travel 1 year, we take a break year, and then we host Osaki students and chaperones another year. So once every 3 years we travel.
Now, we're off camera a while ago, we were talking about Janice Nazarian.
Yes.
We've been friends for 55 or more years. Boy, I'm really old, and to have a friend that old, but she looks much younger than I do, but she has went to Japan.
She has not gone to Japan, but she was chair
The
of
host.
She was
She was the
chair of
host
our
here,
international
wasn't she?
committee for many years. She was chair during a visit to Japan, and she was a chair during a time that we hosted here, actually for the 20th anniversary. We had a huge celebration when our Japanese friends came from Osaki on our 20th anniversary. We are now celebrating 26 years.
Wow. 26 years.
26 years
See,
of this program.
I had no idea the chair all these years don't necessarily go to Japan.
That's right. So we all serve as volunteers for this committee. It's not a board or an authority. It is a committee that's a volunteer organization. And so those volunteers help organize the hosting and the planning of their visit to make sure they have an incredible experience while they're here. And then we also plan for the trip when we send our students to Osaki and help choose those students.
Well, this originally started, I know YKK came here, and I want to say Mr. Bob Walker was one of those early ones. And we're actually filming this in the international room, and we've actually got a Japanese flag back here. But this room represents a lot of things. I've always enjoyed filming in here because it gives you pause when you look at all these flags. And so we're not just a city within these borders.
That's
you know,
right.
we have these ambassadors, like you said, that not only go there, but we've had the Development Authority travel from Latvia to Germany and across the board, and because we have a diverse group of from St. Gobain and Erdrich and on and on and on. But it's really nice knowing, because when YKK came, that was it. That was the first one. So, man, we got a Japanese company coming here, and it was great. It was really good, and they employ several hundred people. They've been a great community partner, and I think this just, and I'm sure Mr. Bob was thinking, this would just take it to another step.
Absolutely. So this relationship has been going on, like you said, for 26 years, and it started when YKK was brought to Dublin. Mayor Bob Walker wanted to find a way to really connect the two communities. Of course, we get the benefits of having a great employer. YKK is our third largest employer here in Lawrence County, but we really wanted to find a way to actually connect the communities across the globe. And so Mayor Bob Walker established a sister city relationship. It's our only sister city relationship is with Osaki, Japan, which is the main plant that manufactures the YKK AP products, architectural products, which is the same that we produce here in Dublin. So it was very interesting touring the Tohoku plant in Osaki. It was very similar. I've been on a tour here of our YKK AP plant, and it was incredibly similar. The products that they produced were very similar.
You mentioned when you picked the youth, you mentioned communication, be able to communicate well. So, and you had me thinking as you was talking, how hard is it to communicate because the language barrier?
Yes.
Can they all understand English? Do you have to have translators?
Yeah, so it is a big part of the struggle of the cultural challenge, right, is the language. And so what's interesting is that most Japanese students have actually studied English since kindergarten. So many of the young students, even the 4 and 5-year-olds, can communicate pretty well with us. However, some of the older adults have not had that same experience or that same education, and so some of them may speak in broken English, and some of them may not know very little English at all. And so we use some technological devices like our Google Translate and other things that helped us be able to communicate with one another. We learned a few of the important phrases and words, and were able to introduce ourselves. The students actually prepared an introduction in Japanese. So we had a little bit under our wings as far as Japanese, but we weren't near as prepared as they were when they came. Of course, we don't take Japanese starting in kindergarten. So the language barrier is real. We did have translators, both when our guests come here. They have a translator that comes with them, as well as we had Sally, who came along with us every day of our tour, and she was our translator throughout the whole week. However, most of our host homes had someone in the family that could speak some English. Yes.
I have been on trips where we stay with the people of that town, and but it was in America. I cannot imagine. You know, you mentioned broken English. Well, heck, in the South, we all, I think, speak with broken language, so broken English.
Accents,
so, yeah, we go right along with them then. Did y'all get to visit any schools?
We did. The second day we were in Osaki, we visited an elementary school, we visited a junior high school, and we visited an after-school program. And I can tell you from my personal experience, it was the highlight. Being able to see the children interact with them. Of course, they're just so innocent and pure at heart and love music and playing. And so we were able to sing a few songs for them. They sang some songs for us. We played in their gym, which had a live pianist that played music while they exercised. We were able to play with them on the playground, and then in the afternoon we were able to play some games with the junior high students and with those after-school students. So for me, definitely the highlight of the trip was visiting the schools.
Okay, so sing one of the songs.
Yeah, that's not happening. We listen, James.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I can harmonize in the choir at church, but you don't want me singing a song. People be getting up, walking out, so that's not good right there. So what's the biggest difference you saw between our two cultures?
Oh, wow. I think order. We are a culture that respects and honors diversity and differences. That's the best way I know how to put it. They are a culture that honors and respects people in community. So instead of acting individually, an individualistic society, they have a collectivist society. So they act as one. So their thoughts are always when they make a decision, when they're acting, when they are speaking, they are thinking about what is best for my community. What is best, how can I best represent my community? How can I be respectful to the person who's in front of me? And that's everything from making sure there's no trash on the ground to making sure that the waitress at the restaurant has an order that's easy to understand. So here in the United States, we want to add 14 things to our order. They will order the same thing as the other person at the table, just in consideration of the waitress. Wow. So things like that were definitely an eye-opener. And of course, there's nothing wrong with either one of those ways. It was just a very big cultural difference.
One thing they do show us up on, and those were good points, but I was preparing a message a few months ago about something, and it was about senior citizens. And I got to studying about the Japanese culture. Now, we don't take care of our elderly like we should. We just don't do it. You know, people have put their parents in a nursing home and never go back or go one time a year. That don't happen in Japan. They respect their elderly and they admire them. We do too. We owe it to these elders. We can learn more from our elders than from anybody else. They have the wisdom of all those years. So I admired that about Japan. They're serious. I wish we could learn some of those things. You know, throwing litter out. I don't know how you do that. I really don't. I don't get it. But you can learn a lot from the Japanese.
That's right.
Okay, tell me about. We've got some students we're going to be talking about. Tell me about them.
Well, these 9 students are the cream of the crop of Lawrence County, of Dublin, and they were excellent ambassadors for our community. I was really excited to see how they each interacted in their own individual ways with their host families and with the community at large. We had some students that were excellent at pulling people together and drawing them out of their shells because the Japanese can be more reserved socially. And then we had other people who seemed to have the knack of just getting to know them in a way that was special and unique, whether that was learning a new cooking skill or sharing playtime with their children. It was really most interesting to me to see how the students were able to bring their culture and share that with their Japanese host homes. So that was probably the most exciting thing for me. And of course, watching them experience another side of the world. It's one thing to go on a trip and to have these experiences alone, but when you can watch others have those light bulb moments and those experiences too, that was a really special part of the trip.
Good. I'm glad to hear their take on it. So, we're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands and with the purchase of a new Amana offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Well, trucking is a 7 days a week, 24 hours a day operation. So there's a tremendous need for the logistics field, for drivers and mechanics to work on it. Fred had a desire to be a mechanic. We encouraged him to seek some additional training that's offered through OFTC, which he did. What he learned at OFTC has just taken his job and his performance to another level.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, Sarah and I were talking about these incredible, I don't know if there's enough adjectives, I think, to describe y'all, incredible, amazing students. First of all, Paris, tell me when you did your application and these judges went through them very thoroughly, what was your thought process? What did you want to get across to them?
That I'm open-minded and that I'll be a great representation of Dublin and America when going on this trip.
And I'm sure you feel that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
So what was the biggest cultural difference that you saw?
The biggest cultural difference, I would say, is one, the language, of course, but also navigating their community, navigating their city, such as no eating on the sidewalk, making sure that you're very quiet on the trains. It's a very respectful community that's always thinking about other people whereas America, we're very individualistic and we kind of think about ourselves.
Yeah.
So it was a big cultural difference to make sure that I'm actually being aware of my surroundings and caring about other people. Not that I don't do that.
That's right.
But
Yeah, I get it. Just let's fast forward about 20, 25 years of your life. What do you think in 25 years that you'll be a changed person because of this trip that you took? What do you think just really changed the way you look at things, and 25 years from now, it'll still be affecting your life? What do you think that would be?
I believe it'll be a respect of culture and also open-mindedness as well. I believe this trip has challenged me in ways that stretch my brain in ways that I would never have been able to do if I didn't go on this trip at this age. So at that age, I'll probably be around 30-something years old. I believe that at that time, I will be traveling as well, but I'll also keep that anchor of the time that I'll look back at 18 years old that I did go to Japan and that I made those connections with people that I still talk to this day.
Well, I know you're young, and I'm gonna go ahead and you're going to be married with kids at that age probably. Is it something you would love to take them on and let them learn the same lessons that you did?
Yes, absolutely. I believe it's a great experience to be open-minded and to experience a culture that's different than your own.
So Sarah and I talked about the schools. We talked about some other things. What was the favorite place y'all? I know y'all went to a pile of places. What stood out to you probably as one of your top two favorites?
Top two favorites. Wow, it's a lot. So I know one of them would definitely be going to Harajuku, the Tokyo district, and just witnessing the fashion because that is part of my major in college, but also just seeing how people just communicate and just really witnessing how the Japanese people function overall, whether it's them just being on a train, listening to music, or holding their child and realizing that, wow, Japan really caters to their elderly and to their children and making sure that mothers have a place to take care of their child and just witnessing the overall functionality of Japan.
I can't get over what you said a minute ago about being on the bus, being so quiet on the bus. That's
Yes.
definitely not American.
Oh, no. No, sir.
You hadn't been out of school that long. You've probably been on a bus here and there. You can't even hear, you're talking about thinking, you can't even hear yourself think. Well, we need to learn from that, just respecting others. That keeps standing out as we've talked about this. Well, y'all brought a gift back with you, and you got it in your hand. I'm about to die to see what it is, so you're going to open it up now and tell us what it is?
Yes, sir, I will.
We don't know what it is. This is going to be a surprise
Bum,
for
bum,
all of us.
bum.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Whoever wrapped it good. I know
Extremely.
It wasn't me.
Wow.
Go ahead. Man, we got it wrapped good.
Very
don't we?
thorough. You can tell they cared about the product.
Look at here. Oh my
Wow. Hold on. This is,
goodness. Oh my goodness.
show this to the camera.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is a Kokeshi doll, and these were dolls that were very significant to Japanese culture around thousands and thousands of years ago. And now they're kind of used as like an ornament or as a placeholder in Japanese homes. Would you like to hold it? Because it's really beautiful.
So this was this handmade? Is what this is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We actually went to a Kokeshi doll museum, and we had to witness them make the Kokeshi dolls as well. And we got to paint them and decorate them as well. So it was a really great experience. But yes, that is a Kokeshi doll. And
So this dates back, you said, thousands of years?
yes, sir. I think 2000. Yes, sir.
What does that say?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
You would have learned a lot, huh, if you went over there and come back speaking a fluid Japanese language. So, okay, well, is there anything else you'd like to say to the viewers about your trip?
I would like to say that this was a life-changing event for me. And when it does come to the time for the next youth to go, I like to say to the youth, take it all in and don't take heed of every moment, and just take it all in and learn and connect with those people, because it is something to be learned from that trip.
Well, good. Thank you, Paris. I appreciate you joining us today. We're going to take another break, and we've got some more students we're going to bring up. Stay with us.
Badcock Home Furniture and More is your home store, where you'll find great savings on new living room sets, sofas, love seats, recliners, and more. Badcock Home Furniture and More has great savings every day on bedding and bedroom sets. Shop Badcock Home Furniture and More for a great selection of dining room sets, and save every day on electronics and appliances at Badcock Home Furniture and More, 1927 Highway 441 South in Dublin. Call 275-3144 for more information, or stop by and see Wendy and Tim Sumner or any of their friendly staff today at Badcock and More Home Furniture Store, where no credit is ever refused.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dustin Gay. I'm a local orthopedic surgeon with Houston Clinic Orthopedics, and we'd really like to invite everybody to come out to our new office facility to take a look at it. It's a larger space with physical therapy, and we're just excited to have it, and we'd love for people to come out and visit us.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me now Derek McCray. You are a graduate of Dublin High School. The green give it away. So, but what did you think about this trip?
I loved my entire experience. That's what I try to tell everybody. Like, as soon as I stepped off that plane, I was like shocked. I was like, this is clean, this is neat, this is new, and it's like a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it's not America.
It's not America.
No, go ahead.
They took I just saw that they, like, first thing when you walk off the plane, you already see that they take care of everything. You see that it's neat, it's clean, it's not messy, and it's treated well. It's taken care of well.
So what will you carry on? What tradition would you carry on from what you learn over there?
Probably, I feel like I loved, like, the beauty and everything. Mm-hmm. Every single thing that I saw, like, I was telling my host mother, like, every time I was like, she would ask me, like, what's the best thing I see? I just like being in the city, seeing it, and seeing, like, the grass fields, the flowers, everything just looked beautiful to me. So I would take back the beauty, and I would take that into consideration through everything, taking care of everything, because they had some things that are so old, but you couldn't even tell how old they were, because they were taken care of so properly.
What made you want to go?
I've had a love for Japan for a long time. I liked anime. I dabbled in some of the music, and I just knew that this is the experience for me. I had to do it.
And I was asking Paris about down the road. What do you think you will carry with you as you mature, as you continue to grow and have a family later in life? What did you learn that you would teach your family?
Probably, well, the biggest thing that I saw in my host family was how close they were. Because even though my host father, I didn't meet him till the last day of my stay. Like, the last 2 days of my stay, that's when I met him. Because he works the entire week, starting Monday, and he comes back Friday morning. And then he only spends the week, that Friday, that Saturday, and that Sunday with his family, back off to work in a whole different town. So I learned how close they were. Even though he's not there all the time, the first thing he brought back was gifts. He had something for the whole entire family to share, so they could take it in together and see it together and still experience it.
So, and that dad, he's teaching them work ethic.
Yeah.
He's teaching them about family. Those are things that we all need to, and I'm glad I have a father that he taught us those two things, the love of family. Family sticks together, and the Japanese, they do believe in family.
Yes, sir.
And you saw it with your own eyes. So was it kind of scary going when you first got there, not knowing who your host family was? Was there a little scary there?
A little bit, At first, I was kind of jealous because I was seeing everybody else's host families. We had one girl, her host family, like she had somebody who could speak really good English, and she was already texting her before she got there. It's like, my host family hadn't said nothing to me. So I was like, maybe I should have got another family. But at the end, I was like, I'm glad that I didn't get anyone else because I feel like I would have never been able to experience it the same without that family. And my host mother, she could speak, her English was so well that we would just have normal chit chats in the car. And she was basically my language broker the entire time. So I love that. And I feel like that really bonded us to make us closer.
Out of all the things y'all saw, and I'm sure it was a jam-packed time when you were there, what excited you the most, what you saw?
It's the beauty. I love the beauty. The technology. You wouldn't think it. Like, I was at my host family's house. You would, from Japan, knowing how tech innovative they are, you would think every house has all these amazing and fancy gadgets. They have some, but majority of the time, it's just maybe a computer and a TV. That's all. Even though they have access to all these amazing technologies, they're not choosing to use them. And I feel like that's something that can make America better as well.
Amen.
Because we're so computer or tablet there, we need it.
Yeah, it's sad. When you were talking about that, you ended what I was thinking as you was talking, because I just saw recently, and I told this to a school teacher, that I just saw a poll, 75% of kids today, when their phone or their screen was taken from them, 75% of those kids suffered with anxiety because they didn't have that iPhone, iPad, whatever it was. And I asked a teacher about that, and she said, oh, it's the truth. When they have to not work on a laptop or a tablet and they have to put their mind to work, she said they just freak out. So we can definitely learn, because they make a lot of this stuff, but yet they keep everything in perspective. I think that's something good we could learn. So before we go to another break, what is something that somebody watching us right now is saying, man, I'd like to go next time. I'd like to put in my application. What would you say to encourage them?
To encourage them, I say just do it. You have to try things in life. You have to learn different things. And this experience is one of those things that's going to come with me forever. And I know if they chose to do it, it would come with them as well. So I'd say just do it, because I'm already planning my next trip.
Well, you sound like a Nike commercial. Just do it.
Just do it.
I like that. Just do it. Y'all stay with us, and we'll do it one more time. So we got a couple more, I think. We'll talk to them right after this.
I'm Brian Bazemore, President and CEO of Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County. We would like to invite you to come by and experience a welcoming banking environment. Come by today and have a cup of coffee and let us talk with you about our many products, savings accounts, checking accounts, CDs, and our many loans. You're more than just a number to us, you're family. Come by today, Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Hey, I'm Glenn Register with Hometown Supply.
Anything they need for us to do, we do. We give warranty with everything, new and used. You can get what we call a tractor style mower that's less expensive than a zero turn is. You can spend basically half the money and do the same job. You come down and look at what we have, service it, we get parts for it. We can take it down there behind the store. We got a place down there we cut, show them everything about it. Take it out, set it up, do the financing on it, payment where you can handle it. You can get whatever you want and just about name your game. This is a one-stop shop.
And remember, if you can't do business here, you just can't do business.
Welcome back, everybody. I have with me now Caroline Smith, and you're a graduate of West Lawrence High School. And what made you, first of all, sit down and actually pursue this before you did the application? What really drew you to this?
Well, this was my first time out of the country, and there's definitely interesting things in other parts of America, but something about leaving America and going to another country, another side of the world, that has always been a dream of mine. And this was a perfect opportunity to do it in a way that I wasn't just a tourist, in a way that I could really connect with people, meet people, see things that if I go over to Japan by myself, I might not have gotten to do some of these amazing experiences like the host home and having such a great group go with me, and the chaperones that were catering to everything that we needed and making sure that we were able to get out of this trip the most that we could. And it was a wonderful experience for me.
And I'm curious about your parents. My daughter come home in the 11th grade wanting to go to France. I said, absolutely not. You are not going to France. Well, Dr. Bracewell will be chaperoning. I said, well, I'll talk to him. I may do it. And that's the only reason, because of who he was. I knew he was going to look after him. But so I'm curious. Caroline's parents are Wendell and Wendy Smith. They own Tomlinson and Medical Park Pharmacies. But I'm just curious, what was their reaction when you said, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, fill in the blank?
Well, initially, they looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I know
Japan.
That look. You are crazy.
They wouldn't even let me drive to Macon until I was 17, so let alone fly to Japan. It was definitely interesting for them. They had to do a lot of thinking about it and do a lot of research and see more into it than just, I want to go to Japan. And I think with the information that was given to me, with the application and all the information they provided, that really set my parents' mind at ease. And they knew that I was going to be well taken care of, and that this was going to be a great opportunity for me that I was going to remember for the rest of my life. And they didn't want me to be able to miss out on that, because they didn't, per se, go to Japan themselves and try it out first.
Yeah, which I would think they would do that. But so what was the most unusual or different kind of food that you tasted over there for the very first time?
Octopus has never been something that I would try in America.
Don't even sound good.
Oh, no.
Does it taste like chicken? Everybody says
everything tastes like chicken.
Well, just eat chicken then.
It's some tough chicken, but yeah, I could see that. They have this recipe that they make called takoyaki, and it's kind of like they make it into these balls, and it's like almost like pancake mix, but they will throw in a piece of octopus or a piece of almost like a hot dog, like a sausage, or some cheese, and they sit there and they spin it till it forms this ball, and that's like what they'll eat for dinner, and they'll sprinkle some sauce on it and it's kind of like mayonnaise but spicy. It's really good. I mean, I'm a picky eater. I was really nervous. When I heard that it was rude to deny food, I got a little nervous, because I'm not the most broad when it comes to my meals. I like what I like, but I knew that I wanted to get out and try new things, and I was pleasantly surprised. Their food is amazing, yes.
I'm curious about the cherry trees. I don't know if you know the history of Macon, but about 50 years ago, William Ficklin went to Japan, and he started buying these cherry trees. And today, Macon has over 100,000 cherry trees planted in Bibb County. And if you've never been out to Ficklin Farm, you just stand in awe at all the cherry trees that line the streets out in that part of Bibb County. I'm curious, were the cherry trees in bloom, and did you see cherry trees everywhere?
Oh yes, they were beautiful. We went at the perfect time to see those cherry trees. We went to a farm, like basically a farm, and it was just paths full of cherry trees lining the streets, and it was just beautiful. I mean, you could see them for miles, and when they would fall from the tree, it was like it was snow and cherry blossoms. It was beautiful, yes.
Well, I know for a fact you're a country girl.
Oh, yes.
Through and through. You have to be with who your dad is, but you probably coon hunted and fished and noodled and everything else. So, but with that said, what did you bring back with you that you was most excited to tell your mom and dad?
I bought every person in my family a pair of chopsticks.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. For about a week, I made them use chopsticks at every meal. They were
How much
so
weight
upset
they
with me.
lose?
I was like, we're gonna eat on these small plates with our chopsticks, and you're going to experience it just like I did. They never really got the hang of it, but I still use mine every now and then, only with the foods that aren't hard to eat, because I still gotta eat.
Right. Well, I love eating with chopsticks. For some reason, I picked it up right away. I'm shocked at that. 2 little sticks, that you're getting your food as Southerners. we like to eat.
Oh,
When
yes,
you
we
put
do.
macaroni and cheese or chicken or whatever on your plate, most of it we eat with our hands, you know,
Oh, yeah.
chopsticks. And of course, they probably don't even eat fried chicken over
Oh,
there.
no.
What was some of the biggest cultural differences that you saw from your vantage point?
They're very considerate of the other people, and like they don't think about themselves, and that is it's such an amazing thing to see, really. And the way that you almost feel like sometimes I would catch myself and I'm like, I'm acting like I would normally act, but then when I look around at the people around me, like the way that they are carrying themselves is so much different than what I'm used to. And it's so amazing to see how well that they care for the other people in their community and how important they make the other person. And I mean, it's just, they take things slow. They take everything in. Like they don't eat and drive. Like I eat and drive all the time. They do not do that.
Drive with our knee, huh?
Oh yeah, yes, exactly. And they don't eat and walk down the street. You're not going to find trash cans down the sidewalk because they don't need them. They don't eat unless they're sitting down in a restaurant. And I believe that's how it should be. But in our society, we're always in a rush. And they really sit down and take things not for granted. And it's such a beautiful thing to experience.
Tell me about your host family and what did you learn from them?
My host family it was a very great experience, and there were young kids in the home, and they were so kind, and they were so excited to get to meet somebody from America. And I was able to bring them gifts from here, like t-shirts that said Dublin on them, and they were so happy when they got those because first of all, they've got someone from America coming to stay in their home, which is obviously like something very new to them, especially since they were young. But they were also welcoming, and they asked so many questions, and they wanted to know more about me than I was asking about them. And that was a really fun experience for me, getting to share with them some of the things that I enjoyed and getting to live in the way that they live. And I mean, I really enjoyed every minute that I got to spend with my host family.
What do you think you'll carry with you through life?
I think realizing that bigger isn't always better. Like, there have been times when we're, like in America, we think that we always got to have more, do more, be more. But even if you just look, like the houses are small because they don't need a huge house. The cars are small because they don't need a huge car. And being able to see other people in the way that they live and how simple it is and how well they are able to really take in everything around them and cherish things that are really important is such an amazing thing to be able to see. And it really makes me want to start applying that to my life as well.
So they're happy and content with what they do have.
Yes, very much.
That's great. So before I let you go, I could listen to these stories all day. I mean, all these kids, it's just incredible what you learn, I'm sure you were bright-eyed.
Oh, yes.
You know, we call it bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I know your eyes were just wide open all the time, just soaking it in. Now, I hear about the host family and what you learned. What about the kids? You mentioned smaller kids. How old were the kids?
They were 4 and 8.
Okay.
And they were so excited to have somebody in their home.
That is so great. And with their manners, I know they were excited. They treated you like royalty, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Because they were excited about you coming. Okay, last question. Somebody watching us here and say, no, I could never do that. What would you say to encourage them?
When I first decided to sign up for the trip, it was definitely outside my comfort zone. It's not something I would normally do or look out for, but I decided to take that risk because I knew what benefits it would have for me, and that was something that I knew I wanted to experience. So I absolutely say do it, do it, do it. Every day I would do it again. I would love to go back and experience the exact same thing over again. It was so beautiful, so life-changing, and I really, truly will remember it for the rest of my life.
Well, if you've been keeping score here, every kid that come up was do it, just do it. And that's a lot of things in life. Go for it, whether it's an education, whatever it is, if it's morally and ethically sound, go for it, you know. And don't be scared to fail because so many people in our history failed many times before they did succeed. Yeah. So I think that's a good lesson. Well, good, Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y'all stay with us. We're going to come back and wrap things up.
The weather's heating up here in Middle Georgia, and the deals are hot at Dublin Nissan. So when you come in, look for the red tag specials like this Nissan Altima or the new restyled 2024 Frontier. So come into Dublin Nissan during our red tag sale and take advantage of 0% financing or up to $10,000 savings off of MSRP.
At Dublin Nissan, get rates as low as 2.9% for 36 months on the Armada.
And remember, Don sells Nissans well, only at Dublin Nissan.
We invite y'all to come down to Holy Smokes Barbecue, Dublin's fresh everyday barbecue source. 1100 Hillcrest Parkway, 272 Ribs. You can place your orders online, dublinbbq.com. We're all about faith, family, and friends. And remember, life's too short to eat bad barbecue. We're so thankful for you, Dublin. You guys have been so good to us, and we just want to invite you guys just to come on and experience what we think good barbecue is.
Welcome back, everybody. I told you we're going to wrap things up. We have Derica Lewis with us. You are a rising senior at Dublin High School. Now, she brought some show and tell. And when she sat down here on the set, she showed me a picture. They're not all in here, are the host family. That is so cool, though. What does it say? Even with my glasses on, I can't read it. What's it say at the top?
Sweet candy.
Sweet?
I love you.
Okay.
Let me pick that
That
one
is so cool. So tell me about your trip. Why did you even apply to do this? Was this, you heard Caroline, it was so far out of her comfort zone. What did you think about that?
Well, my family doesn't really travel at all. So I was thinking, this might be my only way to get out. I have to do it throughout the city of Dublin. So I applied. I was excited because I don't get to see much. The most I think I've traveled is to Florida, and that's pretty close. So I was like, if I don't get up and do it myself, I don't think my family is gonna pursue my dreams of traveling that far out of the country. So I was thinking I had to be proactive and just get out there and put my foot out in front.
Well, tell me about the application process. What did you write that made you, what did you write that you think they picked you to go on this trip?
I think my answer in the question process, we had at least, I think, 10 questions we had to answer. Some were about Japan, some were about YKKAP, why do I think I need to be chosen to go on this trip, things like that. I think that's what made me stand out. And maybe my resume, like my background behind me.
So what did you say why you should be chosen?
I said that I was very open-minded, eager to learn about Japan. I said it's just an amazing experience, and it's just something I'm looking forward to do, and I love to travel, and I'm respectful, so I just...
Yeah. So where did you get those traits from? Mom, dad, grandmother, grandfather?
Mom, dad.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's good. Well, tell us about your family.
My host family? My host family was really, really sweet. I didn't have any kids in my home. Both my two host sisters that you see on the picture, I believe they're 27 and 24. My mom and dad, all of them were in the medical field. The two girls in the picture, they both work in the neurosurgery department at the medical center. They told me that, and I was really, really interested because I watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy, and I thought that that was the coolest thing ever. I had so many questions. They initially didn't speak any English at all, so I had to really jump in and pick up on my Japanese because I was really thrilled to learn, but there was really no way of us communicating other than Google Translate. But by the end of the trip, I could kind of hold a conversation, but it was kind of tough. But they were really sweet. I felt really at home by my second day, and I loved living with them. I don't think I would have picked any other family.
Well, you and my wife get along good. She's a Grey's Anatomy nut, and I don't watch it, you know. But so how was it? I talked to Sarah when we first started. So what was it like going over there with a doctor in the group?
Well, I always felt safe because I knew if I had an allergic reaction or anything, because the foods were so different and new and out of my comfort zone and things I've never tried before, I knew Kirk's son knew exactly what to do. So I was, and son is something you say in Japan after you say someone's name.
Okay.
So I would be Dereka's son. So I was just
Okay.
saying Kirk's son. I just knew he would have my back and know what to do right away in case anything happened.
Talk to me in say something to me in Japanese.
Okay. Konnichiwa, watashi wa no namae wa Dereka desu.
Good gracious! What is it? What are you saying?
I said, hi, my name is Dereka, nice to meet you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to trust you on that. My phone's over there in the camera bag, but that's really good though. And you know Japanese?
A little bit. We really was very thorough about the opening statement because we had to do that a bunch of times in Japan to introduce ourselves to the kids, the city, the mayor, our family. So I got really good at that one.
That is incredible. You're gonna go far in life. That was so fluid.
Thank you so much.
That was incredible. So I see one thing you learned on the trip. So you heard me asking the other kids, what's something that you'll take with you in life that you learned on this trip?
Their kindness. They really put everyone before themselves. Like here in America, it's all me, 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 me. But for them, it's like more of a us, making sure everyone's okay. Like people you don't even know, they're looking out for you and your well-being. Like I was in Japan, and I just told this lady we're sitting down having dinner, and I said, hi, I really like your shoes. And she just paid for everyone's at the table's meal. Like,
wow.
Everybody is really, really sweet. I didn't have not one bad moment in Japan with a Japanese person. Everybody was really, really, really sweet, nice, and respectful to me.
That's
Even
incredible.
with the language barrier being there, I never felt disrespected or out of place.
And they're very accommodating.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good. So you picked up some Japanese. What about newspapers or magazines? Were you able to see those, or the newspaper like here? Are the newspaper racks? You can stop and get a paper. How do they get their news?
Well, we were in their newspaper, so all of us were gifted with the newspaper with a picture of us in it, and they actually wrote about us. So I did get that from Japan.
Right. Could you translate what they said about you?
I did through Google Translate. Now, I don't know how to read much Japanese. Yeah. I don't know.
You
how
wanted
to
to know
read
what they were saying about you, didn't you?
Yes, but I just took a picture on the Google Translator app, and it translated everything on the paper into English.
What were they saying? Some of the things about y'all?
How YKKAP formed a bond with Dublin, and how they do this tradition of bringing kids from America to Japan, and we're here visiting, living with our host families, just talking about us, things like that.
Right. You heard Caroline, we were talking about food, and she said the most unusual thing was octopus. Speaking of food, what is something you tried new and really loved, and what's something you tried new and you'll never eat it again?
Okay, I really was not a big fan of the octopus. That was so different.
I'm with you.
And mine was raw. Like, it wasn't inside of the ball. Like, mine was just, it was plated very nicely, but I tried it and it was, I don't know, too different. My favorite food that I tried there was the tempura shrimp. So tempura is where you just basically fry everything on your plate, and that's probably so American of me, but everything they had is basically fried, and I enjoyed that.
Oh, of course. We're Southerners. We would love that. So I know they love sushi. They love a lot of raw things. But the octopus, it was on the plate. It was plated good. Just looking at you.
Yes.
Yeah, and says, eat me. So you did try it. That's good.
I tried everything that was offered to me.
So when you tried the octopus, you really didn't like it. What kind of facial expressions did you think? Did they know you didn't like it, or you sucked it up and just...
Oh, I did not play about the facial expressions. I kept it very nice with a smile.
Yeah, swallow, get this out of my mouth.
I never acted like anything was disgusting. Yeah. I always made it clear that I was appreciative to try it and that I was open-minded, you know?
When you first thought about applying and you come home and told your parents, was it a like Caroline? Was it no, you're not going to Japan, or did they encourage you to go?
My mom really, really encouraged me to go. She pushed me. She's not the type to hold me back or like call to me and say, oh no, that's too far, I can't go with you. She was, if you think you can do it, I want you to. But I was very last minute with my application. I only had I had a day. So I threw it on her like, I don't even think I gave her time to really think about it. I was like, hey, it's due Monday. I got it that Friday. And I had 2 days to cram it. That's it. So I don't really think she had much time other than to just get on board, because I really wasn't taking no for an answer.
Yeah, she was in shock probably by the time you turned it in and found out. What did you think when you were notified that you was one of the finalists?
I think I passed out at school. I was jumping up and down. I was running around the school building. No, seriously. I was running around the school. My mom came and picked me up from school. I went and visited one of my old principal. He now teaches at a different school. I left school and went and told him. We were jumping up and down, celebrating. It just was like the world stopped for me for a whole 45 minutes. I was celebrating.
That is so good. That is so good. And did you carry that excitement throughout the whole trip?
Yes. Now, it was a long wait to get to the trip, but once I was there, all of the emotions I felt from when I first found out that I was going, like, all came back to me as soon as I landed. So.
Well, all y'all have said they're very reserved in their demeanor. So did you act crazy and holler around them?
No, no, I think that's the calmest I've ever been. But I did also share my personality when I got home with my host family, just to make them open up and get feel more closer to me and really get to know me. So I did kind of show off my personality by like making dance videos with them and just, introducing them to America. I think I taught them, what song is it? Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. They played that song every single day after I introduced them to it. So.
That's good. What else did you teach them about America?
I taught them how to do the Dougie. I had everyone doing the Dougie.
Well, you're going to have to tell me what the Dougie is.
Like, you don't know the Dougie?
I'm an old man. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I had all of them doing the Dougie.
They were all doing it?
They had no idea.
And you were the TikToker of the group.
I was really trying to get everybody out of their comfort zone, and I think I did a pretty good job of doing it, because by the end, we had a group dug in.
That is so good. You really enjoyed it, didn't you?
Yes, like I think about Japan and I really want to cry, because like the experience was just really, 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 really
So
amazing.
you'd go back?
I'm gonna go back, and I still keep in touch with my host family and a couple of the friends that I made while I was in Japan.
And to me, that would be, and I've traveled all kind of places, and you learn new friends. I love to get to know different people, and I can tell you for a fact, they have been lifelong friends. And what we can learn from each other, the good and the bad. Yeah. So we need to try to learn both, and it sounds like you learned a whole lot.
I did.
So you're a rising senior. Where do you go from here as far as education?
Want to go to college, and I believe I want to be an attorney and focus on criminal justice. And that's my pathway at school as of now. So hope to continue that, finish strong, graduate, and start off my journey with law.
Well, I think you'll do good. I mean, you only had a day or so to fill out your application and get it in. So
yeah, it was tough.
You can cram enough to do opening and closing statements in a courtroom, and that would be great. I can tell you're going to go far in life. That's really good. You have a great attitude.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for coming this morning. All the kids, they all did a wonderful job. You went with a good group of people.
Yes, I do believe I did go with a great group.
And y'all learn a lot from each other too, I know. And you did, some of these people you didn't know you went with.
No, I didn't. That was my first time meeting Caroline.
So you got to know them, and they're going to be lifelong friends probably. So I think that's really good. Okay, thank you so much. Thank all the kids and Sarah for coming and talking to us about this experience. And I could sit here all day and listen to these stories. And you can tell by the passion on their face. You just see them light up when I ask them these questions. So they really mean it, they believe it, and I love that transparency about the trip. So thank all of them for coming. And however you're watching today, on a lot of people on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we don't care how you're watching us. Thank you for watching us today.